Are we live?
I believe we are live.
Oh, nice. Are we?
We're testing this. I mean, it says something about being live.
Oh,
Some
yeah, we're live.
Did you get a
Oh,
notification?
oh
Anyways,
yeah. Okay, I guess I'll stop looking at that screen now.
we're live. Yeah, don't look at the second stream. Second screen.
Oh, I also got to mute my audio on this side.
There's a lot going on right now.
So you guys want to hear a funny story right off the top?
Yeah,
about
sure.
about a math question that you attempted to do.
Oh my gosh, you saw that? That was so brutal. I hate those questions. Okay, we're gonna talk about that first because I haven't been sucked into any of those, and they're like pretty brutal. But that one like especially irks me because like I understand bed mass, but also the equations are written so wrong.
Did you see my whole comment?
Intended to pull you in. I kind of looked through it afterwards.
I said it could be addition, it could be multiplication. My favorite is exponential.
The double stacked
broom and the double stacked wands.
So I'm just choosing to ignore that and do it straight, which is like wrong on probably 8 different levels. I agreed with Justine's. Just like, who cares, you know?
My favorite was like, well, like, you know, if you had an x stacked on top of an x, that would be an exponent. And
right.
So that's how I think you should apply the rule to wand stacked on top of wand. Right. But then I was like, oh, but you can't do x plus x squared plus x equals 12. And then I was like, wait a minute, you could. And so I was like, that was my like 2 a.m. math this morning. I was like,
right.
What is the equation? And then it was like, you have to just ignore the fact that it comes out to something like, it's actually like, it's 2.3 something, but then if you do that equation, it actually comes out to 12.14. Another day of riveting content here on the South Langley.
Guys, we spent like last night, my life group was on Zoom, and we spent like half the time talking about, and just to give you guys who are watching context, like this is one of these math picture problems that's shared on Facebook and has got everyone talking about it. And like we spent so long on life group debating it last night, and like
we didn't talk about Jesus at all.
What did you guys? Okay, but I think they do it as if it's addition. But in what world would you have x and x be together as addition? I think it's definitely multiplication.
If it wasn't my job, I would be leaving this live stream right now. I've had it with this Facebook math thing. You guys are playing. You're playing right into it.
I know I haven't been sucked in by any of them, but today I just, for some reason, in a moment of weakness, I just commented, and then I was like, I regret this.
But I find so much joy, and I enjoy doing all of the different math, questions, no matter how you interpreted the poorly. To me, it just demonstrated the necessity of standard notation. And, now we can all appreciate the standard notation that we learned in elementary school.
Guys, this is my attempt to change the subject.
Okay.
This weekend, for the first time since high school.
Yeah. You did math?
I had to calculate a triangle.
Oh, because you were doing your climbing wall, right?
Yeah. Like I'm building a little triangle playhouse for the kids in the backyard. And like I said I would never have to calculate a triangle.
And you did.
For whatever, like what is it, like 15 years. For 15 years I was right. I did not have to calculate a triangle, but now I had to do it and I messed it up. I was right.
Oh, she just took a sound clip of you.
She was sampling me.
For 15 years, I was right.
For 15 years, I was.
Can I get that as a ringtone?
I'm trying to get the live chat up here on my phone, but the volume's off now.
Oh, Gwen says thank you. Yeah, well. But here's the thing, right, is I didn't really calculate the triangle. I went to a website that has like a built-in triangle calculator. And you just type in the angles and the side length, and it calculates
Was it
So-
a right angle triangle? Like, was the apex of your climbing structure a right angle, or was it? Supposed to
It
be?
was each corner was 60 degrees.
Gotcha.
So and it was going so swimmingly, and then sorry, Gwen. It was going so well, and I was like putting together the frame,
Comments here.
and like I had cut everything. I went over to my in-laws' place and like used my father-in-law's like chop saw, cut
Yeah.
it all just right. But I forgot to angle the most important cut,
Oh.
like top.
Yeah.
I forgot to angle that. So
Oh.
I built the two sides and then I put them together. And I'm like, oh. So I had to go back.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna say like you just decided to like overlap them. Have
No,
like
I
some-
couldn't. It's a completely different angle.
You know what,
Gotcha.
Dave, your job isn't to build things, you know?
He's built.
Stick to
He
preaching.
builds people. He builds disciples.
Yeah,
He
that's
doesn't-
right.
He
That's-
doesn't build
that's true.
structures.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of building things and faith, you know the song Cornerstone? This is like my favorite topic of conversation. The line, I dare not trust the sweetest frame.
Yeah.
You know that? You know that line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that line mean? Like this is
What
That's
is the actual lyric? I dare not trust the
trust
the
the
sweetest.
sweetest frame, but wholly trust in Jesus' name.
Huh. I was
I don't
wondering
know.
if I was wondering if we all sing it wrong and like it's actually like with the sweetest frame with an N referring to like refrain like
Okay.
I won't trust. I
think it's
you
frame.
know, lines of poetry or
Hmm.
ah yes, so Katoa Gwen.
That's a good
Love-
question, Brian.
Love me some. I dare not trust the
The
sweetest,
sweetest
frame.
frame that pastors like Dave construct. Boom, roasted.
Oh, here we go. But a
From
frame
Alicia.
a frame can also be like a conceptual construct.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's-
Frame
So
of mind.
there's kind of like three, yeah, like the thing that you've built for yourself, or the like picture of what you want your future to be or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of, so there could be like an art connotation to it, like a picture frame,
Mm-hmm.
the way we frame our future. There could be like a climbing, or like not climbing, saying climbing because you're building a climbing wall, the like a frame that's been built up, or like a construction metaphor. Like I'm just not sure what it is. Or is it just because it fits, you know?
Somebody's
Frame and
calling
name
me.
rhyme. We just say
I
that.
never get calls.
Anyways, you can be sure every time we sing that song in church or elsewhere, Brian gets pulled out of worship for about 30 seconds thinking about that line.
Alicia,
gonna-
I'll have you know that the frame that I built wound up being beautiful. It is rock solid. It could support an elephant. It just took 2 tries, that's all.
The
Frame.
frame that has the potential to become an idol. Oh, you were just about to read that. Yeah, I don't know. Could be lots of things. Anyways, derailed the conversation.
No, that's good.
Virtual coffee time is one long derailed thing.
Oh, that's good. So my funny story from the beginning that I never actually finished. I'll give you guys the short version. I've been chatting with this girl.
Is this on-air content?
This is on-air
Wow.
content. Yeah, I've been chatting with this girl, and we've been mostly, you know, FaceTiming and going for walks 6 feet apart. And
Have
anyway,
you really been doing that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know, isn't it crazy? Anyways, we were walking the other day. I've had my like fake tooth, like my little clip-in tooth, for like 3.5 years. Like no problems. I don't wear it super often anymore, just when I'm in front of people, because it can be a little bit off-putting. But I'm like a little bit awkward around this girl, and I want to make a good impression. So over FaceTime, and like as we've been chatting, I've had it in. The other day we're like going for a walk, and it just like breaks in my mouth while we're walking.
Kim tuned in right at the right time to hear this conversation.
Yeah. My tooth just like broke off. So I'm like walking, and like luckily like there's enough, like we didn't just meet each other, like we've known each other for a while, so we kind of laughed about it, but I just went silent halfway through a story, and I had to like awkwardly like turn and like spit my tooth out and like take my little retainer thing out.
I love the comments right now. Is this a girl or a girl? It seems like a girl. Oh, this is a girl. Everyone's so invested.
Anyways,
Wow.
so
I'm really glad you shared that story.
we laughed about it together, and she's great. So my Bitmoji, or no, Bitmoji, Memoji, the one on my phone, it's always had no tooth, so
No, it
makes it
sense.
funnier now. Yeah, now it makes sense if I send her like a smiley face and it's missing a tooth. Now she knows why. So I had told her before, which is good. I'm glad I didn't, we didn't conceal that fact. I had mentioned it, and I was like, at some point you might see me without it in. But
Kim would like to let you know, Brian, that that's the Lord helping you keep it real.
yeah.
Can I tell a story about things on our phones?
Sure.
So, well, you just mentioned his Memoji, right? Which is like on your iPhone, you can make a little, an emoji that looks like you. So
I'm gonna have to change my hair on mine soon. To put a longer haircut on.
Right. So another thing that you can do is you can tell Siri to call you anything you want.
Okay.
So
So what do you have?
So when I discovered that, all you do is you just say, like, tell Siri, call me whatever, and she always will refer to you with that name. And so I discovered that a while back, like 3 years ago or something. And so I told Siri I said, hey, Siri, I'm going to talk to Siri. I told her to call me Dragon just because I thought it would be funny. And so she's been calling me Dragon for a couple years now. And I kind of like it's no longer a thing for me, really. It's just a thing in my life now that I don't think about. Anyways, what I didn't know is that when you say that, it saves it to your contact card on your phone. So then when you share your contact card with someone else, it like lists your real name, and then underneath in quotes it lists the nickname.
So how many people have you as Dragon? I need to check this right now.
So I'm like I'm hanging out with another pastor in Langley, and I had shared my contact card with him like way back. So I met his wife, and I met his wife for the first time, and I shook her hand. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. And she's like, Dragon, I presume. So you're Dragon. I was like, what? And that's how I found out that it shares it.
That's so funny. Do you know which pastor that was?
It was Jason Charles from City Collective.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Dragon. Didn't he just got married too, right?
He just got married, yeah.
So that maybe that's like an iPhone thing, because you shared a contact card with me because I have information in here that like I would never have asked you. But I don't have Dragon.
Dragon Navarro.
Interesting. So there you go.
Really Dragon on.
So anyways, should we explain to people? I mean, people seem to be interacting in the comments, but let's just quickly run through how people can interact for virtual coffee time. Yeah?
Yeah, let's do that.
So what do we got? We've got our YouTube live chat, which seems to be the place to be. You can call me Dragon if you want. I'm just going with it. You can also send in a text. Sarah, if you can throw the text number on screen.
Oh yeah, it's always on screen, but
Dave, there's so many jokes in my head about your sermons, Dragon on. We can call it a Dragon Sunday.
Yeah.
So many terrible dad jokes spinning around in my head. I'm glad that Kim is enjoying them as much as I am.
And then Gwen can't text the church texting number. Surely you jest. What happens, Gwen? Does it bounce back?
We should try it.
What's the number?
Someone sent me a text.
604-449.
Oh, it's on the screen.
8639. Yeah, it's also on the screen.
8638.
Well, not what your slide says.
Oh!
What?
That's why we've never received any texts.
I've been getting them on Sundays. It must have got typed in wrong. I say that like it's a mystery who typed it in.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what do we do, Sarah? How do we
Ignore
correct
those.
it on the
How do we do this? I can.
screen? Do we just
okay.
have to roll with it for now?
I mean, I can open up the slides, re-import them, add a new directory to our. Let's see. You guys just make conversation. Maybe we should just start with our.
Okay, let's make conversation.
Maybe let's start with an icebreaker. It's already
Let's drop our icebreaker. By the way, don't forget to share a picture. The other thing was, don't forget to share a picture on social media of virtual coffee time.
Oh yeah, I need to take a new picture. The picture that I got for my grandparents last week, not good. So will you guys smile with me?
Oh yeah. I can't. I'll do like a bottom teeth smile.
Like a thumbs up.
because of your tooth.
Just give me a thumbs up, Brian. Grandparents need to know. And if you're at home,
that felt like an eternity.
Sorry. Grab a screenshot of that, and then I can show my grandparents that I really am. They think it's so cool that I go live. Okay, so I'm doing it. Are you editing the slides already, Dave?
The slides are fixed in Google.
Okay, so
this right here is good TV.
It is. Okay, I wish I could just download all of them at one go, but I don't think I can.
Christoph just texted me, drinking that Patagucci Kool-Aid.
I've got my I've got my knockoff brand.
Oh, I should get a bubbly too. Yeah, I'm trying to channel some Christoph.
Lemon sparkling water.
We're on this trendy web show, so gotta wear some trends, you know.
It's Gwen. It's the same, but the last number is 8, not 9. This is I'm drinking coffee. It's virtual coffee time.
Some of us can't do caffeine, Dave. I tried the other day. I had caffeine. Oh, last week. Last week I had caffeine. I started my tea at like 8 a.m. I finished like just as coffee time was beginning. I thought I was going to die until like 8 p.m. that night. It felt like I was going to die. So that confirmed to me that coffee is still a no-go. Thank you for editing these slides, Dave.
You're welcome. Oh, Carolyn got a soda stream. We picked up one of those too last year, and it's been great. But like regular water now is so disappointing to me.
I've always been interested in we used to do a youth night, and we would do like soda streaming different things like milk or chicken noodle soup.
Oh, that sounds devastating. Why would you waste a soda stream machine on that? They're so expensive.
I think we had like one donated or something. It was the same thing. Our kickoff event was always like destroying things.
Guys, I just saw a new YouTube video the other day where they just carbonate a bunch of different things. They stuck a hot dog on the soda stream. I didn't watch it, but stuck a hot dog on the soda stream spout.
Like not even
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay. Gwen says she sent me a text.
Okay.
Nothing yet.
So I bought this just for Christoph's sake. I bought this Patagonia sweater last week. My friend's store in Saskatoon is selling a bunch of stuff 50% off, and except it's all the runoff stock that like you can't see the color, which is why I ended up with like old man yellow, you know, or like beige. So this will I could lay up against the South Langley walls and you wouldn't be able to see me in this sweater.
Oh.
Oh,
okay,
Gwen,
I
didn't
try this.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna do this one. What is it? Image slideshow. Can I edit this while on air? Let's see, guys.
Can you imagine if our Sunday mornings were like this?
Virtual bubbly time.
Get rid of that one. Add directory. Downloads. Updated. Yep. Done. And guys, I did it.
Do I take this phone call?
It's the right phone number now.
Okay, you got the right phone number on screen?
It's the right phone number on screen.
Okay.
We can interact in text at 604-449-8638.
In theory.
In theory.
Gwen says she texted it, but I'm not seeing anything.
There we go.
Oh, Gwen reversed it now. Between me and Gwen, we're not gonna. Okay, I think we're gonna be good now. Okay, here. Should we do an icebreaker?
Yeah, let's do an icebreaker, Dave.
All right, here we go. I got table topics here. Ready?
It really hurts my heart that you choose from the middle. I hope you at least add them to the same side every time.
I just want everyone to know that it's random.
But you add it to the same side every time, right?
Yeah, but if you're pulling it from one side always, then it is kind of random.
It is
right?
random.
Like
You'll eventually actually make your way through the stack.
Hey, I got Gwen's text. No, I got Carolyn and Adeline.
Oh, everyone's texting in now.
So those worked. Good to see you guys. They just say hi. Okay.
Take your picture, South Langley Church
Okay.
Online.
You guys ready?
Icebreaker.
I think
so
so,
ready.
This
I
is
guess
pretty
so.
good. This is pretty good. If you could be a backup singer for any
okay.
band,
Nickelback.
what would it be?
Yeah, probably. Honestly, Nickelback's a good answer. I don't listen to music, so.
Kidding.
Why? You don't listen to music at all, Sarah?
Well, so I kind of.
You and I are both audiobook people.
Yeah, audiobook podcasts.
I'll look through my phone.
Music gets stuck in my head so easily that a few years ago I made the conscious decision to like only listen to like positive or uplifting things. With the only exception to that being like Broadway musicals sometimes. But so no, for me it's like only Disney music or Christian music. And I enjoy Christian music, but like not a huge fan, and so if I need music on, I'll throw that on. But no, like just the messages in other music get stuck in my head, and sometimes they're not good. And so there are some like great artists out there who, you know, make positive stuff that may not be Christian, but I just can't be bothered to find it, and so I just like put on the radio or put on shuffle, and then you get some not so good stuff. So I listened to very little music. So if I were going to be a backup singer, I would be like a supporting vocalist in a Disney movie, like one of the fish in like the under like the Under the Sea, you know, like you guys know the fish that I'm talking about. That's who I would be.
You were gonna make an attempt at doing one of those.
I was, and then I was like, no, Dave's already gonna be singing on air later.
Oh, guys,
we have a special sneak peek for those of you joining us today.
Yeah,
I don't need to add to that.
We got 28 on right now.
Who would I be a backup singer?
30 on now. Hey, look at that.
That's a good question.
Imagine if we had content.
Imagine if we had content.
If I was going to be a backup singer for a band.
Oh, no, stay, bird dog.
It would be the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, aha, very funny. For some of you who don't know, there's another guy named Dave Navarro who was part of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Jane's Addiction, and he is a weird dude. And
I think he's back in the band.
And then we also have Bryan Adams.
Is he?
What do you mean? We have Bryan Adams.
We have Bryan.
Yeah, Bryan and Adam.
Oh, yeah, right. And there's another BCMB pastor whose name is Phil Collins.
Oh, great.
So that's pretty great. And he and I have never interacted.
Oh, I've interacted with him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like I should interact with him at some point.
I'm gonna I'll share some stories with you later from our conversation.
Oh, yeah, great.
Okay. The conversation with the
we were with oh, can you guys
Yeah, you're back.
internet connection unstable? I'm back. So I had one of the weirdest conversations. I'm not going to go into it, but it involved hospital visits, and it was prompted by his youth pastor. So we sat down at the table, and Phil was like, "Hey, do you mind if I join you guys?" And we said, "Yeah, sure." And then we sat down, and his youth pastor was like, "Hey, Phil, tell that story about that time you went to the hospital." And he
man,
just went, ah. And then it was like one of those, like you're uncomfortable, but like he got peer pressured by his youth pastor, and that's the only conversation I've ever had with him. Great guy though. I've heard him preach, and he's great.
Yeah, he's solid.
we measure pastors by the quality of their preaching.
Yep, totally. So we got Gwen saying U2. U2's good. Carolyn says Ed Sheeran. Oh, Christoph says the Navarro Trio. He'll sing back
Navarro
up
String Trio.
for the Navarro Trio.
In case you guys don't know, my two of my three sisters, and I used to have a string trio. We played. I think we played 3 gigs.
Aren't you guys still? You guys,
No, we're not.
You guys are just on a semi-permanent hiatus, right?
We're on a permanent hiatus.
Who knows, maybe once the kids move out.
Well, I mean, we got an upcoming video that features 2 of you.
You're right. Thank you, Sarah.
No worries. I got you. Annika says Imagine Dragons.
I feel like I'd want to sing. I'd want to sing backup for a band that's like having fun. You know, like probably like Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Like that'd be stressful because they play thousands of songs, but like that band's having fun the whole time. You know,
K-pop bands that just have like 50 people in it.
Does that count though? Because you're not really singing backup. You're kind of just like sharing the.
I don't know how to say. Somebody who's more familiar with K-pop, do they consider themselves all equal artists? Pete, my dad says ZZ Top.
I'm with Brian. I think I would like. It's weird. They're not my absolute favorite band, but like Justine and I saw Zach Brown Band last time they were in Vancouver, and like.
Do you know any of the controversy with Zach Brown Band?
No.
Okay, Google Zach Brown Band right now. Google Zach Brown Band, like hookers and cocaine or something. Actually,
no, I'm not gonna Google that, Brian.
But Google Zach Brown Band, and that's what. You didn't know that?
Truly, you jest.
Their whole last album was like an apology album.
Oh no.
They're not great guys.
But they're having fun on stage.
Okay.
They're having fun.
So, just to recap, I will not be associating with the Zach Brown Band and any of their activities. Well, shoot. This got awkward.
It did, but that's
Brian,
okay.
you've already been requested for you to be on every coffee time.
Yeah.
Clear this slot.
Oh, thanks.
Just dropping bombs.
Embarrassing Dave saying dumb things on air.
I'm not current with the times enough to like. I'll be honest. I don't know who Imagine Dragons. I'm sure I know.
You don't know who Imagine Dragons are?
I'm sure I'd recognize their song. I couldn't name. I listen to no music unless it's Disney. No, like what? I'm sure if you told me a song they sang, I would know the song. But
they sing that really obnoxious.
Who's our special guest today?
Well, we have a special guest.
Connor, do you want to say hi to everyone on YouTube?
It's Connor. We love Connor. We're excited.
Connor likes saying hi to everyone on YouTube.
Connor loves saying hi.
Sarah, at least, right?
Sorry, I'm gonna be more excited. Connor.
Hey, Connor.
We're really excited to see you. Connor.
He's not into it right now.
Oh, not into it. That's okay.
Close the door all the way, please. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, we didn't get our daily dose of Connor. You'll have to tell Connor later that even though he wasn't willing to say hi, people are saying hi to him.
Okay. He didn't close the door all the way.
Well, is that the end of the icebreaker, or do we?
Oh, I don't know. What else do we have to talk
about bands?
I
want to sing backup for the Adam Smith band, but he never lets me. So.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Kim's got a school parade going on outside of our house right now. Her house right now. So.
Outside of our house.
Here, I got a couple of texts.
Oh, Annika, I see you're listing some Imagine. Is that's the Thunder? Is that Imagine Dragons?
Thunder.
Except that they say, fun dip. Fun dip. Next time you listen to it, you'll hear the fun dip. Lightning in the fun dip.
I think they also sing that song "I Bet My Life," and like that one when I was in, I think I was in my last year of school, and if you listen to it, you'll understand. I'm not going to sing it, but it kind of starts off like really like it's got this really like kind of nice bass line, and it's got this really nice feel at the beginning, and then you're like sitting at Denny's, and it's like 2 a.m. and you're working on your paper, drinking your coffee, and then this song comes on, and you're like, oh, this is all right, and then it launches into the core.
Into the core.
Oh man.
Dave's got robot voice.
Oh, we lost you, Dave. Are you?
Dave's got whale voice. Brian's got robot voice. Brian, you're back now, though. Oh, maybe not.
We lost Brian.
I'm back. Did you hear my I Bet My Life thing?
We just heard, and then the chorus comes on, and that's all. Oh,
One
Brian.
sec. I'm gonna fix it. I might cut out for a second.
Okay.
Oh, Brian.
Gwen says that Blacklock went by their house too, and it was fun for them to see. Good
Am I fixed now? Is that better?
Maybe.
So far.
So what happened? So the chorus comes on at 2 a.m. in Wendy's.
No, not Wendy's. Denny's.
Oh, Denny's. Sorry, this is a theoretical situation, right?
This is a real situation, but let's tell the story again. I fixed my internet, by the way. I was connected to the other room. You're sitting in Denny's. It's 2 a.m. drinking your coffee, and then this song comes on, and it's like, it's kind of calm and whatever, and you're kind of enjoying it. And then all of a sudden they start screaming at you that they bet your life on you, and like it's just obnoxious and it's loud and it's stressful. And,
stressful.
And you need to get this paper done, so you don't care. But anyways.
Oh, poor Brian.
All right, what else are we talking about today?
What else are we talking about? Well, Dave, do you want to just jump right in to our first question?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's do that.
So, our first question today, Dave, written by Dave, is what story are you telling yourself?
Right, and it's the full version is what story are you telling yourself?
Oh, we just got
about your storm.
Can we pause?
Yeah.
We just got a suggestion that perhaps since we have different guests, should we introduce ourselves? There are some people who may not know, or
I'm Brian.
A quick introduction and what your role is at South Langley Church.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Our current role or our past role? My current role is youth pastor at the basement suite I live in.
At the basement, yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it, Dave.
Okay. Hello, everyone who's joining us. And my name's Dave, and I'm the lead pastor at South Langley Church, and that's who I am.
Dave just flipped to a script mode.
Yeah, we all will do that.
Hello, my name is Dave, and I'm the lead pastor.
And I'll say, good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I'm the director of children's ministry of South Langley Church. There. Now, Brian, what's your script?
I always just say I'm one of the youth guys.
One of the youth guys.
Yeah.
Maybe your script could use a revision, Brian.
Probably could. I think I probably just need a script to begin with.
Oh, interesting.
That's most of my problem when I go on stage.
No, it's so bad because now whenever I'll be introducing...
Hi, my name's Brian, and I'm the youth guy. One of the youth guys.
And I'm
one of them?
One of them.
Christoph is the other one. He wears more Patagonia than I do, but I'm trying to catch up.
That's how you can tell.
That's my
how
new
you
script.
guys can distinguish each other.
Yeah. I just want to be like Christoph when I grow up.
Except scripts aren't that good because I'll go to introduce myself to not at a party or anything these days, but I'll introduce myself to somebody and honestly I'm like, hi, my name's Sarah, and it's just it wants to come out. I think we need to give a big congratulations to Gwen. She handed in her paper and her defense for her master's, correct? Oh, Ryan is giving you a virtual.
Oh, I forgot we can do that. Yeah.
Clapping emoji.
Look at this.
It's on the other side, Brian.
This is for real. Oh, it's on the other side? Wait. Well, why is it on the other side? That's so weird. It's on. Am I flipped around? Oh, I'm backwards. Just so you guys know, if you're seeing my basement suite, my door's actually on. Well, it's on this side for you, but it's actually on this side.
This is good TV.
We can see your door, Brian.
I know, but everything's backwards. So it's actually
Brian,
it's my left front tooth that's missing, not my right front tooth.
I think this might be the story that you're telling yourself. But what story are you telling yourself? Do you want to explain what this question?
Yeah,
is,
just
Dave?
to recap a bit. Yeah. We talked about on Sunday. We talked about the story in Mark chapter 4 where Jesus is on a boat with the disciples, and he calms. A storm comes up, and they say, "Jesus, don't you care? We're going to drown." And Jesus gets up and calms the storm by speaking to it. And they say, "What kind of man is this, that even the wind and the waves obey him?" And so, kind of talked about how what the disciples are doing in that story actually is they're only asking questions, really, and they're trying to, in the midst of their storm, their crisis, they're trying to create a story for themselves that helps them to make meaning or make sense of the crisis they're in the midst of. And we talked about how that's kind of what we do as human beings, that all of us are always telling ourselves a story and creating a story in our brains about whatever we're living through. And in this case, we're living through a pandemic, and for many of us, we're living through an additional crisis or pressure or whatever it is. And so what part of what we did on Sunday was just to pause and ask ourselves, okay, what story am I telling myself about my storm, whether that storm is just a pandemic or whether it's more than that. And so, that's our first question. So you guys can go ahead and, if you want to text in answers or drop them in the comments, a little bit personal maybe. But as you think about the way that you think about whatever you're going through right now, what are some of the things that you found yourself thinking, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think for me, like one of the big things that I'm sure I've shared this a few times with you guys, like for me, I'm really having trouble even like not believing that there's a storm, but like it's kind of like when you like go for a walk and it's like raining and you're like, okay, it's raining, but it's only going to be raining for a little bit. Like I don't need an umbrella. I'm fine. Like for me, I think how quickly like our situation at church changed, how quickly like just like life changed for me. It's like, oh, it came on so quickly, it's gonna go away so quickly. And I know that that's not true, but my like that like gut instinct, like every time I'm like having to convince myself like, no, like this, this could be our reality for a while. But it's kind of just one of those things that like always catches me off guard. Like, in my head, it's like, oh, I'm only gonna like film one more kids church video, or oh, wouldn't it be so like I'll see an activity or get an idea for activity. And it's like, oh, let's do that with the kids. And it's like, no, like let's put that in a folder to the side to do when we can get back together again. And so like that's like one of the realities of this storm that I'm kind of having to come to terms with, which maybe that's different than the story that I'm telling myself, but
yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because like the story that I've been telling myself and that I've caught myself believing is actually the opposite. And it's that like this will never end.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of have like, and so for me the discipline has had to be reminding myself that this is temporary, that life will reach some kind of normal, and at some point again. And so just convincing myself to believe that a little bit, or reminding myself of that, because there's so much disruption, and even though we're only a few weeks in, it feels interminable.
Mm-hmm.
Good word. Can I Google it? What does that mean?
Interminable.
I'm just kidding. Inconceivable.
How about you, Brian? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I one of the things I've been thinking about, and this kind of like isn't, it's not supposed to be like a youth department update, but I've been really like feeling a lot of like, so for all of us, our job is kind of the same, but it's like the means of how we do that has changed like completely in the last couple weeks, so like you're still the lead pastor, but the means of which or by which that happens has completely changed. I'm still doing youth stuff, but like we don't run a youth program, and like that was a large part of my job description before, and like connecting with leaders like over coffee and connecting with other youth pastors and like all these pieces that are sort of important to what I do have completely changed. And I think I felt a lot of like pressure for everything to be like to hit a standard of kind of where it was, but in like a digital format right away. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I've like been really like having to tell myself that it's actually okay to do things one step at a time. And we're kind of reinventing a lot of things right now. We're reinventing the way that we do church. We're reinventing the way that we connect with one another. And even though it's not going to go on for forever, it is our reality right now. And we do actually have a lot of time to do that and to figure it out and to perfect it. I learned how to do youth ministry over a lot of years, and a lot of those things translate. Like it's, you know, the communication, the talking with kids, the connecting with kids, all those things do translate. Um, but but the means by which we do those things is completely changed. So I need to like allow myself to go through the process that I need to. And so I don't know, I guess the story that I've been telling myself in that is like I've been pretty stressed about trying to like, oh, I got to launch this thing well, and I have to do this now, and I have to like, everybody's got sort of I love all the parents in our youth group, but everybody's got a different opinion of how we should be doing things right now, you know, based on the needs of their individual kid. And that's awesome. And we want to be trying to meet those as much as we can. But I've like feeling that pressure of like, oh man, like this kid needs this, and this kid needs this, and this person needs this. And for our youth leaders, they're all adjusting. And so I've just been like kind of spinning all these things around in my head, and like, I want to make sure our young adults are connected and whatever. So I guess I've been telling myself this, like, you have to do all this stuff right now, or this all needs to get done right now. And yeah, and I think the thing that I've been working on, or sort of the narrative that I've been working on reshaping, is like, actually it's okay to do things one step at a time. And I started off this process, or like 2 weeks ago I was in that headspace, but then 3 weeks in I fell apart, you know, like 3 weeks in, all of a sudden I was like, oh shoot, I'm not where I want to be. So I don't know, just going, for me, like the positive thing in that, or the thing that I need to be doing, is like stepping backwards and going like, okay, this week our goal for our youth program and for myself is this, and next week it's going to be this, and I don't have to think about next week until next week.
Right.
So I don't know, that's kind of a couple of things. So I don't know if that's
that is, I think for all of us, like what I'm hearing, that's really, I think that I hear from a lot of people right now is like, part of the story that we tell ourselves in the midst of our crisis is the story of our expectations of ourselves. You know, and you can hear it, and it's a lot of, I'm finding that it's a topic of conversation for a lot of people, that, you know, on the one hand, there are the people who are like, you know, we're stuck at home, let's make it count, you know, and whatever, like, you know, start, you know, start like eating healthy, or working out, or journaling, or whatever it is, you know, and we're going to come out the other end of this a new person. But then on the other side, there's people who are like, let's give ourselves lots of compassion, and like, allow ourselves space to breathe, and not have, you know, huge self-imposed pressure on ourselves as we move through this time that's really difficult and trying. So, I probably bounce back and forth between the two extremes. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I think, just real quick to jump off that. Sorry, Sarah.
No, go for it.
But I really appreciated this like Rabbi in the Waves sort of picture and like series that we've done, because I think for me, like, I've been really feeling that like Peter stepping out of the boat, you know, like, and when he's taking one step at a time, it's actually like really like he can do it. And then it's when he starts to like look around and like see all of the things that like he starts drowning. And that's like, for me, that's been my story the last 3 weeks. So I'm kind of coming out of that now. I feel like we're in a better place now. But anyways, that's a little bit of. So Sarah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, I was just gonna like, you know, kind of echo those feelings a little bit, Brian. Like, it's been interesting, like in this new new reality. Like, also just like realizing, like. What we used to, you know, to kind of like take for granted. Like, I, you know, kind of used to get relational stuff, like, and I think maybe this is even more that true, like more true for me than like even for you, Dave, but like I used to be able to teach and build relationships like on Sunday mornings in our Sunday school time, because you know kids church is like very interactive, hearing the kids talk. We don't get that as much in big church. And then all of a sudden having to like face the reality of like, oh, like I still want to provide this like teaching time. How can we do these connections? And so I've been doing these online hangouts with kids, and it's been like fun, but it's like, oh, but has it been meaningful? And then this past week, I was having a hangout with one of our boys, and he was telling me about how he had written in his journal about how excited he was to hang out with me, and how we had chatted a few times the week before. And it was like, oh, like this is like so encouraging that like, you know, just kind of like, again, that story that I was telling myself was like, oh, like you know, I'm not making meaningful connections, like all I'm doing is talking at a camera. And then to hear from this young boy, but also like, you know, in the comments and stuff, it's like, no, like we're doing the best we can in a stormy situation. And people are seeing it, and people are recognizing it.
Is that the sound of something that needs to be intervened?
I'll be right back.
Now what?
Well, now we go to the comments.
Oh, now we go to the comments.
Now we go to the comments, you know?
I'm getting tagged in some things.
Yeah, everyone's just really wants to affirm you, Brian, that, you know, their kids are enjoying it. And
well, that's why we're vulnerable, right? So that people say it's okay.
Yeah, right. Totally.
I appreciate it. I do sincerely appreciate the comments.
Yeah. No, and you know, just like we're all learning. I think that's the one thing that I've appreciated during this time. And I was talking to somebody after church this past Sunday, is there's a lot of like people are very generous and understanding, like when things maybe don't go well, or, you know, when our audio is buffering, and like, you know, people aren't expecting us to have everything together, or you know, to have perfect live streams. Like there's just a lot of grace right now. And that is, you know, so nice. We're just both just scrolling through the comments.
Yeah, just so you guys know, when I'm looking off this way, I'm looking at the comments. Got a pretty cool 2-monitor setup.
You know, I think I agree with you, Carolyn, here. Carolyn says that she's found the most useful thing is hearing that I'm not the only one struggling. That's incredibly powerful, and I can be a person of faith and still struggle. And yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it's amazing how like all of us have got our different things going on, like whether you know, for some this is you know, like we're all struggling with different things during this time, but I think most of us would, you know, be honest and say that it is a struggle. I have yet to talk to somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm really thriving during this time.
I don't know. There's a handful of young adults and youth that are like,
oh yeah. John's really enjoying it. He you know, like they've got the free parking downtown now. If you can get down in time, his commute is cut down like in half to get downtown. So
I was talking with Cameron Porsche. This was a couple weeks ago, so it was during spring break. I think he's back in school now, but he's like, yep, this is the same for me. So I was like, sweet, thanks for your honesty. Cameron's so great. Cameron helped set up the youth Discord chat, and he's been kind of the one taking point on that. So that's been really good.
That's awesome.
He's done some really good work on that. But
yeah, and it's been really cool seeing different people, like seeing Cameron step up, or Monica's been amazing helping like film or come up with ideas or edit stuff for us as well. Like it's really cool to see different people like kind of offer their gifts or things that they're excited about. And yeah. Sorry that we kind of got off of your question, Dave.
It's fine. Oh no, I was actually just going to comment on that. Like, I think that's been a huge positive of this is that it's given a different set of people a chance to come forward and to contribute, right?
Mm.
And so in a way, I guess volunteer wise, but probably more than just volunteer wise, but you know, you tend to go with the same people and have the same routines, and so there is a little bit of an effect of like pulling us out of the rut, if you want to say that. Not that volunteers are a rut, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Falling us out, or pulling us out of the groove that we've worn and the well-worn paths that we've established.
Should we
Why
go
don't
on
we
to the
move
next
on?
question?
Yeah, let's do that.
I want to make sure that we leave time to show our little promo video.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah, and then the second question was just, you know, as we looked at the story of Jesus calming the storm, we see that Jesus, like what the story tells us is that that Jesus is the creator, and so he like God in Genesis 1, we see Jesus speak over the waters, and they obey. He speaks order amidst the chaos of the waters, and so that's probably a Genesis reference. And then we kind of traced the story and said we're early in the Jesus story here in Mark 4, but as we trace it through, we see Jesus very clearly demonstrating his care for us, and that's what Holy Week is about, which is the week that we're in right now. And so if we can say Jesus is the creator and he cares, what difference does that make in terms of the story that we tell ourselves?
I think I'm not sure I'm gonna like derail this question just as you ask it, but one of the things that I've been thinking about or has been brought to my attention is like in like Luke 19 when Jesus is like riding into town. He's like actually crying, which like I don't think I've ever noticed that before, or I've always kind of like read over that. Yesterday when we were doing youth, over like doing small groups or whatever, we like looked at some of the I wanted to look at a little bit of like where like the moments that made Jesus sad in his death. And there's like the sweating blood thing and whatever, and I think that's more like stress over what's happening, so I don't think that's as good of an example. But like when Jesus rides into town, like he's weeping over Jerusalem and over like how these people are gonna like the stuff that they're going to experience, you know, and he just knows riding in. And then even like at the cross, like his last, like he says, like, don't weep for me, weep for yourselves, you know, like it's like the things that make Jesus sad is like, it's the people that he's doing this on behalf of, and what they're going to experience even in spite of him giving up his life, you know. And I don't know, I totally forget your question now, but that like what I've been thinking about,
like the question is, Jesus is the creator and he cares, and so you're pointing to
that
idea that Jesus has this caring posture toward us.
Yeah, and even like in his death, like that's what brings him grief, you know, like through the whole process. At the end, the most grief is over that. So I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
it's
I was thinking about last night. So
yeah, that's helpful, and like a good thing to notice is that here he is on the way to the cross, on the way to his moment of you know, his great climactic moment of victory, and here we are on the sides. We're seeing him recognize things that he's really sad about and wants to fix, and like he doesn't fix them. You know what I mean? Like they're like Holy Week is not him sweeping through Jerusalem and making all of the bad things go away. It's him. It's him. You know, he goes to the cross, but it still leaves human suffering and human struggle and grief around. And you know, this is like shortly after he said the words, "In this world you will have trouble," right? But take heart, I've overcome the world.
Yeah, that's a great Brian Dirksen song. I love that Jesus quoted it.
Actually,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I had to that was sarcasm.
What have we got in the comments here? I feel less alone, Gwen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
pretty good.
missed that. We talked. I guess. How far back?
Was that one?
Oh no, she's kind of repeating the same idea.
Okay.
How when you know that Jesus is, Jesus cares, it makes you feel less alone in these moments of, of feeling alone.
Yeah, and Kim, same thing. Like, that Jesus is Emmanuel. He's God with us in the midst of this, and we touched on Sunday on the problem of evil, and how the cross in a way is perhaps the best answer, and the cross is not, is not a philosophical. Here's why like bad things happen. Here's why God doesn't just fix it. But I'll have to dig up the quote at some point. I heard someone say once, like, that the answer that the cross gives us in the midst of our suffering is the same answer that God gave to Job in the midst of his suffering. And the answer is not an answer, but the presence of an answerer. And so God comes to Job and just is there with him, and Jesus too here, and we see it on the cross. Jesus is here with us in the midst of our struggle and suffering, and he suffers alongside us.
Yeah, that was a big difference. If you're at the Women's Fashion Show, I actually shared a little bit about me, but years ago rereading, this story of Jesus' journey to the cross, and just that moment when he just rereading it for whatever reason that time, it was like, prior to that I had always had this image, this was when I was in my teens. I'd always had this image of God, I knew that Jesus was God, and so I was always like, of course he could go through these things. He's God. Of course he could go through them. He knows the end, kind of like Carolyn's saying is he knows that there's that this is just the middle point of the story. He knows that it's going to be worth it. But rereading that story, and it's Jesus suffered. Jesus cried. Jesus, felt pain and fear. Maybe for some people that's a little bit contentious. I believe that there was some fear in the garden, and to realize that he cares so much that he would submit himself to human emotion as well. That made that so real to me, and it was that was the first time. Hi, Rosie. That was the first time it was oh, God, Jesus isn't just God. Jesus is also man and understands what we're going through.
Yep.
So, hi, Rosie.
She just woke up.
I was gonna say, everyone wave.
Yeah.
It's only 3 of us in this Zoom call. We always love trying to get Rosie to wave. She does it sometimes.
Sometimes she talks too.
Yeah.
Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Rosie.
Okay. Is that all you got right now? Yeah.
Rosie, Karina says, well, she doesn't say hi, but I'm going to say that Karina says hi.
Pretty cute kid, right?
Pretty cute.
He is.
Gwen says hi, Rosie. Hi.
Oh, yeah. That's you. That's you.
Yeah.
She's staring at herself.
Oh, no.
She's staring at us. Oh, no.
Hi, Rosie.
Who smiles more, Rosie or Liam?
Rosie.
Oh, and all the Rosie comments are piling in. Rosie.
Whenever Dave runs out of things to talk about,
he's like
look at my
texting
baby.
Justine.
Yeah.
He's like, bring in the kids.
Yeah, bring in the baby.
Pretty good, right?
Oh, let's be honest, that's what we all need.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I want when we get back together. I want a Rosie hug.
That
Okay,
could be.
remember,
Okay.
are we
What's
Like,
up?
Are we
story about
finished
the
that?
longest time? Are we done that? No, Sarah was still.
No, I was just saying like that was a big thing, like realizing that he like is caring enough that he became human. Really like I felt like he was with me in the suffering and actually like understood it. So I think that's enough. I want to stay conscious of our time because I think Dave was also wanting us to give a little bit of updates, maybe.
Yeah. Do you wanna roll the video first?
Should we roll the video?
So guys,
Okay,
here's the
fine.
deal. This is the world premiere
Of a teaser trailer.
That's a thing now, though. Like
Totally.
like when a much anticipated movie comes out, like the premiere of the trailer becomes a thing.
Yep.
So
This
here
is
we go,
like
guys.
So we
Bowl-
haven't
Super Bowl
even
commercial
we haven't
material.
even like hyped this up. So the people who are here watching, we've got special sneak peek. We'll probably post it on our socials later, but you get to see it first. Adam and I have been working on our Easter choir.
And it's really easy, right?
It is so easy. No, it just takes really good things are worth the wait, and it's tough because everything these days is based on the computer, and so used to be just that be like having the time to do it. These big projects was the struggle, but now it's also like sharing computers or not getting distracted by other work. So it is taking a while, but Adam and I are both fully invested and believe that it is worth the effort. But we did prepare a little teaser trailer for you guys. So I'm going to roll that. Brian and Dave, if you guys want to, I don't know if it will capture your audio. So
We'll mute our mics.
Yeah, maybe be quiet.
I will mute my mic.
Let's roll. Hopefully this works. Let's roll this trailer.
Yeah, that's true.
I cast my mind to Calvary, where Jesus bled.
And died for me.
I see his wounds.
His hands, his feet, my Savior on.
That cursed tree.
Yeah.
Is it recording?
You guys haven't even
I
seen it
cast my mind to Calvary, where Jesus bled.
Oh, I
You guys are
love it.
delayed. It's been over for a little while, actually. So there's
No,
I
gonna be
see
no.
his wounds.
That's okay.
There's gonna be this
His
little while.
hands, his
That's fine.
feet,
Oh wait, why can I still
my
hear it?
Savior on.
Is it?
That
Is the audio still
cursed
playing? The audio might.
tree.
I don't hear it, Brian. I
John
think you
just
might
tuned
have to
in
just
ignore
mute your
that and
YouTube
do it.
feed.
Oh, it was my YouTube feed. It might be. Yeah, the trailer's playing twice in the YouTube feed.
I
What?
don't think so.
Yeah, the audio's still playing.
Oh, is it? I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't have any audio. Anyways,
It's
we're
gone
back.
now.
It's gone now? Good.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's gone.
So we're excited.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam. It was probably actually picking it up because I had the feed going to
Oh yeah.
make sure. So it's probably coming from my headphones. My mic's over there, but my headphones are over here. It's amazing.
So
Thanks,
good.
guys.
So good, right?
Yeah, we're excited. And that wasn't even like, that was just the clips sent in, nothing
They're gonna be mixed over each
they're
other.
gonna be mixed
Everybody all
over.
at once.
Adam's been making us all sound great. That was just the raw vocals, and it already sounded so good.
Guys, we have 50 people who sent in videos. 50 plus people.
I've got 54 video tracks, and we've had to, some people who sent in like duplicates or like play multiple instruments or something. Like we've had to be strategic about making sure we can include everyone at least once, if not more. So
I haven't even
it's-
done a guitar overlay yet.
Yeah, you better get on that.
We'll see if I end up doing that.
Adam, oh my gosh.
Well, he said he wasn't working on it yesterday, so
So Adam,
we'll see. I might do that right after this.
yeah, Adam's
What
in
about
the
my board
comments now,
setup?
so we'll see what he thinks about that. But it's gonna be so good. We're so excited.
Should I play along with it? I can do it right now while we're on the air.
Great, beautiful.
No, don't do that, Brian.
Don't do that. Wait,
I've
what
been
else?
really,
No, I
I've been
think it's
really
fine.
enjoying. Like I find it such an honor to be working with all these clips and seeing a glimpse into everyone's life. Like Adam just does the audio; he doesn't see anything, but I get to see, and I see every single person, doing the starting, that awkward little bit waiting, and it's really cool. And to spend time with each like it kind of feels like we're spending time together, and getting a glimpse. And yeah, I just really appreciate the vulnerability of everyone who has submitted clips. So thank you so much for doing that. And it's been a really special project to work on. So I can't wait for you guys to see that on Sunday.
Last week I demoed how to do it in virtual coffee time, and then the day after I did my actual recording, and then I went downstairs and Justine was like, so like, why do you randomly just sing up there for a little bit every day?
You're like, this is my job.
My job.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So hey, why don't we do a little SLC update?
Brian has strategically muted his mic.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Great.
Thanks for the soft music to finish us off. Do you have an update for us, or do you want to go last, Dave?
I want to go last.
Okay. My update is we're still continuing things with South Langley Kids. We have videos coming out. They come out every Friday. I think a lot of our families are watching them first thing Sunday morning before our live stream. And you can interact with those online. A lot of our families use our service guide that we email out on first thing Sunday morning. And then we also have hangouts that you can sign up to hang out one-on-one with me. And not coffee time. Cereal time is what I'm calling my pastor's office hours, and that's been a fun time where we've had a few kids hop on first thing in the morning. A few times we've eaten breakfast together, just an opportunity to chat. And that's the update for now. We're working through like longer term plans and starting to talk about what the summer looks like. We haven't arrived anywhere yet, but we're talking about it and talking with some of the key people involved in all of our different summer plans. So, yeah.
Brian, anything from you?
Yeah, so we, I think, well, Christoph kind of shared some things, I think, a couple weeks ago maybe, but yeah, what we've been doing over spring break, we were working on launching something called Discord. So it's like a social media app that we can kind of like, we have a little bit more control over. So it's just our youth group that's on there. The kids sign into our server and they can chat with, there's senior slide channels and junior slide channel and things like that. And parents can get on there as well and join those channels. So they can like voice chat through there. And we've been doing like an afternoon drop-in. So at 1 p.m. every day, we kind of have this every day, at 1 p.m. Tuesday to Friday. We have a space where kids can drop into the chat, and Christoph and I might or might not be in there. I've been in there a couple times and I've been muted working on other stuff. And then I'll like chat with students as they acknowledge me. It's kind of, I think it's like meant to be a gaming platform, and we use it. We play some video games together and things like that, but mostly it's just a hangout space and a space to be doing things while we're kind of together, alone together.
Alone
together. And then I kind of like hate that hashtag, but also maybe it's good.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't? It's like it's a thing. Hashtag stay home, hashtag alone together.
Hashtag COVID cut.
Hashtag COVID cuts. Yeah. There was some confusion if they meant haircuts, staff cuts, or budget cuts, I guess, the other day when we were having a conversation.
COVID cuts are.
We were talking about haircuts. Yeah.
Like your home
Christoph
haircut.
and I were worried. Yeah. He's like, guys, we have to get some COVID cuts. Turns out he's talking about my hair. Yeah, so we've been doing youth as well. We moved senior youth to Tuesday nights, so we did that last night, and that was really great. We're doing Zoom for that now. So last night we watched a video together, and then we had some discussion time, and we played a game that was kind of cringy, but I thought it was pretty fun. And then on Wednesday nights we do a movie night that families are welcome to join. We post the link on Discord. It's like we use Netflix Party, and the kids can vote on the movie. So I think we're probably watching Chicken Run tonight. And then Thursday night is junior youth. So that happens 6 to 8 p.m. And Christoph sends the Zoom link out for that. That'll be in people's email already. And that's kind of what we've been doing for now. We're hoping to add stuff. I've got young adults as well on Sunday nights, and that's kind of, we're working our way through a podcast through the, I always say it wrong, Fight, Hustle, and Hurry podcast.
Yep.
So it's kind of, there's a little bit of focus on spiritual disciplines, but it's pretty accessible for everyone to download it and listen to it. And I think to implement the things that are in there. So that's been pretty good. It's still a little bit awkward having just like small group discussions over Zoom. Somehow video feels more vulnerable, even though it's not. But I don't know. Anyways, yeah. I think we got good things going on. It just is taken. I'm allowing myself to move a little bit slower than I have. We're also got a care list put together, and leaders will be contacting students directly and things like that. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and in terms of church-wide stuff, yeah, a lot of it you know about now. Like we have our care list as well, and so we're checking in with people and trying to keep track of people. We will be obviously big focus right now is Easter weekend coming up, and so yeah, we've got a pretty great, I think, live stream service for Sunday. And then on Friday, we have the combined live stream with the other churches of Langley. And so so you'll see me like before and after that, but the main feed will be what comes from CLA, and it's a combined effort of many different churches. We'll be launching a Langley like community benevolence project, a multi-church thing. We'll be launching that on Friday, and so you'll be able to check that out. And so the churches of Langley have gotten together and said, we want to be here for the people of Langley and do what we can to just be available to care for people. And so, yeah, some details for that will come out on Good Friday. And so make sure you tune in 10 a.m. Good Friday. What else? Yeah, and then calendar-wise, like, yeah, right, this week is pretty much, we're just looking at Easter and yeah, then next week we're gonna start making some decisions about longer term calendar stuff. We May, June, July all have like big calendar items for South Langley's yearly cycle, and so we're gonna have to start figuring out what those look like. Obviously, with not being able to gather, so. Yeah, be praying for us. And then I think another thing just that I would invite is just we'd love to hear feedback in terms of we're trying to like plan our sermon series going forward. And so one of the things that we're trying to do is be very responsive to what's on people's hearts and just where people are at during this time. And so feedback and ideas on that would be welcome. And yeah, because we just want to serve our people well during this time. And also, for goodness sakes, invite your friends to tune into our Easter live stream.
Yeah, it's been cool. We've actually had a few people, like newcomers or people who haven't been around for a while, tuning into our live stream. Donnell shared that we had like somebody sign up for Staying Connected this past week. But there's opportunities. We can still be inviting friends to get together on Easter. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys in various ways this weekend. Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Well,
enjoy for those of you who are going to be like baking Pascha or whatever you're making. I can't do that, but I'll be eating some mini eggs. Enjoy whatever it is you do as you prepare for Easter. Oh, we can also give a reminder. I don't know that we'll be doing communion. Did you say that during Good Friday?
So,
okay, perfect.
Yeah, so it'd be good to have bread and something.
Grape. Wait, what did you say? Grape-like substance.
Grape juice like beverage. Does the grape version of bubbly count?
Yes, in fact, that's a good recommendation. That's what I was talking about. Grape something.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is how we should wrap up. All
right.
right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we will be going live on Friday, just in advance of our 10 a.m. Good Friday service. So we look forward to seeing you guys there. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Oh,
Bye.
I
See
say
you later.
goodbye. I've got to end. Okay. Goodbye. And maybe we're ended. I don't know.
Maybe we're ended.
I said end stream. End.
Was
It's
the
not-
audio like?